Welcome back. We had a little technical difficulty. We stopped the broadcast by the technical problem. So now, this is another file, but it's part 2 of where we left off in the purport to text 20, chapter 3, canto 2. As such, the senses and the action of the senses are to be considered impure or materialistic as long as they are employed only in sense gratification. The purified senses are engaged not in sense gratification, but in the service of the Lord in toto. The Lord is the supreme of a living being. The various senses are fully engaged in mundane affairs. If the ear is not engaged in the service of the Lord by hearing about Him from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad-Bhagavatam, certainly the holes of the ear will be filled with some rubbish. Therefore, the messages of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam should be preached all over the world. Be taught to hear the transcendental topics of the Lord, and the devotee of the Lord must speak loudly so that they can hear. Make a note of that one. I got to put that in my notes. The frogs loudly croak, with the result that they invite the snakes to eat them. The human tongue is especially given for chanting the Vedic hymns and not for croaking like frogs. He's merciless, Prabhupada. I mean, he's merciful and merciless, the way he is merciless. The word asati used in this verse is also significant. Asati means a woman who has become a prostitute. A prostitute has no reputation for good womanly qualities. Similarly, the tongue, which is given to the human being for chanting the Vedic hymns, will be considered a prostitute when engaged in chanting some mundane nonsense. Thanks to our technical advisors over here, Hannah and Rishabdev Prabhu, for clearing it up. The upper portion of the body, though crowned with a silk turban, is only a heavy burden, if not bowed down before the personality of Godhead, who can award mukti, freedom. and the hands, though decorated with glittering bangles, are like those of a dead man, if not engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead, Hari. Purport. As stated herein before, there are three kinds of devotees of the Lord. Class devotee does not at all see anyone who is not in the service of the Lord. But the second class devotee makes distinctions between devotees and non-devotees. The second class devotees are therefore meant for preaching work, and as referred to in the previous verse, they must loudly preach the glories of the Lord. The second class devotee accepts disciples from the section of third class devotees, or non. To visit as such, the first process in the routine work of devotional service, hearing. Hearing by all classes of devotees from the authentic sources, like the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam, is essential. The common man who is puffed up with his material position and does not bow down before the deity of the Lord in the temple, or who defies temple